Okay, your next comedian is headlining this small radio station booth. You can hear her on Spotify and YouTube Music because she got a streaming album that she put on there herself. Also, you can find her on Tubi and Roku. Please make some noise for comedian Victoria Banner, everybody! It was me the whole time. I'm the comedian of the night. Okay, I am so unbelievably stoked to be doing comedy for people that I was literally just talking to 4 seconds ago in a radio booth. That's exactly what I want to do. But you're like, who are you? Why do we care about you? Like, what do we know about you? You can use your eyes, as you've seen people online. They're on the air. They probably can't use their eyes. So if you're listening or if you're witnessing me, you can just know that my name is Victoria and I look like Jordan Peterson's crayon drawing of a feminist. That's what I look like. If you need more of a description, I look like if Elizabeth Holmes was being puppeted by Frank Oz. I knew I could do that joke at the university with 2 obscure celebrities that only smart people who are neurodiverse know about. So that's what I could do. It's cool. It's cool to be doing stand-up here at CJSW. I have no idea how it's going to go, so I was mentally preparing for, like, a lot of just, like, doing silence in an empty booth, so I have so many stories, and so I'm here to tell you stories, and the more audio input I get, the more that I don't absolutely spiral, so... It's cool. We did get an audience here today, and I noticed that a lot of the audience is queer, and so queer people always want to know how I am queer, because they see the nose piercing, and they see the haircut, and they go, what's going on? She, her pronouns. And then also, like, every girl with a nose piercing, bisexual! Big surprise! And when I do stand-up at, like, normal places, people are like, oh, what, like a left-leaning liberal girl who's bisexual? And they always have their arms folded, and it's always a guy who has a truck. He's always saying that. I'm like, oh, a man with a truck? He has a truck? Like, yeah, I'm bisexual. You have a truck. We all just deal with small dicks in a different way. Like, so I feel like I have to bend it. And it's terrible because I learned, according to TikTok therapy, that, like, bisexual means you're romantically attracted to both men and women. But TikTok therapy has told me that I'm emotionally avoidant, which means that I like to ghost both men and women. That means that on Tinder, I'm a bigger threat to the LGBTQ than Danielle Smith. University joke. Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, I do comedy, and a lot of people want to know what it's like to be a comedian, and the answer is you just end up being completely unrelatable. Because you go on stage and people, like, they want to hear a comedian who's also a truck driver. They want to hear a comedian who's also, like, an overnight on-call nurse because they want to, like, relate to you. And if you've been doing stand-up comedy for 10 years, you just have weird stories about being the biggest narcissistic asshole in the room and making people come see you on a Wednesday afternoon. And so, like, you become very unrelatable. But what I've realized is now the statute of limitations from all of the stories from early in my career is up because most of the people from 10 years ago has quit, and I'm the only one left with, like, the running knowledge of that. So now, in order to be relatable, I just try and talk about what it's like to be with, like, friends with just, like, rampaging narcissists and, like, what it was like being, like getting to this point. And one of the things that you have to do when you start comedy in Alberta is you got to do so many just legions in Grand Prairie. Just a lot of, and you go, wow, Victoria, you doofy bisexual feminist girl. How do you do doing legions in Grand Prairie? The answer is amazing, because I'll do anything to make people like me. The frat crew loves seeing feminist comedy. They'll pay extra. And so I have done a lot of casinos in Grand Prairie, but it wasn't the action of doing the comedy. It was what it was like being afterwards, just getting to hear the innermost thoughts of other comedians who were bad people. We're bad people. And you're like, what's it like to have only comedians as friends? And the answer, it's like being friends with all of the animatronics at Pirates of the Caribbean. Just a bunch of dead-eyed robots that are terrible at listening, full of quips, and sometimes attractive enough to fuck. So a case in point example of how this kind of translated to me being after a show one night with 4 comedians in Grand Prairie is one of our friends. He was having a crisis within his relationship. And you'll hear about this crisis. Like, I have attention deficit disorder, by the way, so my stories are very disjointed, but I promise they're all going somewhere. So this friend was having a crisis, but we were doing a thing that just people who are full of themselves do. It's called name dropping, and that's where you all stare at each other and scream the most famous people you've ever met at the top of your lungs. So the first guy was like, man, I was at Just for Laughs Montreal. You want to know who I got to open for? We're like, who did you get to open for? He was like, Dane Cook. And this was 10 years ago, obviously. So we're like, cool. That guy's so cool. Will definitely be relevant 10 years from now. That guy's the pinnacle of comedy. And so he started a name-dropping circle. And so the next comedian goes, oh, yeah? Well, I was over on the Northwest Comedy Fest in Vancouver. You know who I see at an after party? We're like, who did you see after an after party? He was like, Louis C.K. We're like, sweet, that guy's so edgy and safe. He just says bad things and doesn't do bad things. We love. This was 10 years ago, right? And so then the problem was that, like, the third guy, he was, like, so excited, but we'd already dropped the 2 most famous names ever that he didn't have anything good, but he wanted to win the conversation. So he just blurts out in the name circle, he goes, sometimes my girlfriend gets to go have sex with the lead singer of Fun anytime she wants. And we went, what? And we shook him. He went, yeah, my girlfriend said she wouldn't be my girlfriend unless she could sometimes go fly back to New York and have sex with the lead singer of the band Fun. And I know I don't need to explain to a radio station that does, like, hipster alternative music what the band Fun is, because there's a lot of people here who remember. But if you don't understand this joke, you do know the band Fun, I can promise you. They had the one-hit wonder where it was like, tonight we are. And so what had happened was one of our friends in a drunken stupor had just told us that he wasn't really into the fact that that guy was slowly stealing his girlfriend. And what did we do? Because, like, I believe in all sorts of relationships. Like, if you're consensually having sex with the lead singer of Fun, good job. Like, good for you, right? He did not like that. And so we should have been good friends in that moment and been like, you should care for yourself. You should have higher standards, and you should get the type of love you deserve. We didn't do that. What we did was we wrote a list, and I have the list here today. This list is called 10 questions that 4 comedians immediately asked upon hearing their friend was being cucked by the lead singer of the band Fun. Number 1. Are you worried she's having too much fun? Number 2, did you agree to a celebrity hall pass before or after she revealed the celebrity? Number 3, what's the schedule of being cucked by the band Fun? Is it all the time? Or is it just some nights I stay? Oh, wait, are they doing it tonight? Did she say she wanted to fuck the lead singer of the band Fun, or did she say she wanted to fuck Jack Antonoff? Because can she fuck him if he's working with the band Bleachers, or is Taylor Swift's producer? Follow-up question, can she fuck Taylor Swift? Follow-up question. If she said she just wanted to have sex with the lead singer of the band Fun, what if the lineup changes? What if the lineup changes and the new lead singer is your dad? Can you also have sex with the lead singer of the band Fun? Who's the 2010s one-hit wonder emotional equivalent that would probably actually have sex with you, Liam? I feel like it's Rebecca Black. What's Rebecca Black's cucking schedule? Is it all the time? One time? Some nights? Or Fridays? Do you think you could have gone 20 minutes in 2013 without hearing that song? And then lastly, the final question we asked was, hey, dude, are you still good to drive us home, or are you going to kill yourself in your hotel room after this? We're bad people. Oh, we're bad people. There's worse people. There's a huge problem plaguing our community right now. It's a very serious concern of mine, and not like our community is like a social community, but our physical community, specifically the physical community of Inglewood and Calgary, Alberta. And the problem I'm talking, of course, is the pedal pub. You guys love the pedal pub? You guys love? I hear that you love the pedal pub. I hear that you love it. I hear that you love the pedal pub. I'm here to tell you that the disdain you have for the pedal pub is wrong. It's wrong because you're adding to the fun and excitement of the pedal pub. Because by you not being on a pedal pub and being mad at the pedal pub, you've made the pedal pub more fun for the people on the pedal pub. So you gotta hit pedal pub with stampede energy. Where if you see someone having stampede time, don't make it more fun by being like, no, because that's what punk rock is. You gotta like unmystify the pedal pub. So people go by and they're like, journey, and then you gotta be like, that's so cool. I love that you're breaking all of the laws because you had $15. I love that you have more friends than me and are on a baseball team. And it makes the pedal pub unfun because we all realize why we don't like the pedal pub, and that's because it's people that just have like a lot of friends and disposable income, and the first thing that they did with their like modicum of power and money was use it to break all of society's laws. Because there's rules that you're not allowed to pedal in the middle of the street. You're not allowed to drink in the middle of the street. You're not allowed to have Lizzo in the middle of the street. Which means that if you took every person on a pedal pub and you scaled them up to billionaires, those would be people that hunted human beings for sport. And that's why we inherently hate the pedal pub. And so I've tried to, like, I've ideated ways that we can actually properly, like, fight back against the pedal pub as opposed to just booing the pedal pub. And there's no rule that says that you have to have a baseball after party on the pedal pub. There's no rule that says you have to have a bachelorette party on the pedal pub. You can do anything you want that's a bicycle-based music drinking activity. And so it doesn't even have to be drinking. You can do eating, too. So what you can actually do to fight a pedal pub, if you don't want people having bachelorette parties in front of your car as you're trying to go to work, is you can technically rent a pedal pub at the exact same time as someone else's bachelorette party. And you can make your route the exact same route as somebody else's bachelorette party. And you can just fill it full like queer goth weirdos doing performance art. You don't have to drink beer on a pedal pub. They want you to drink beer on a pedal pub, but you can just silently lick 2-pound jawbreakers on a pedal pub and stare at a bachelorette party the whole time. Also, I've learned that you get to curate the playlist on your own pedal pub. And you can just do a playlist that's all songs about school shootings. And you go, what? And I go, yeah, you can get about 5 songs deep before the pedal pub realizes what you've done. You can get Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People. You can get I Don't Like Mondays by the Boomtown Rats. You can get Jeremy by Pearl Jam. And then you can just get kicked off the pedal pub for the rest of your life. So you gotta think about better fight back tactics. You gotta think about better fight back tactics in your day-to-day life. This is good. How are you? Yeah, that's Sammy lighting. That's Sammy giving me the light. Oh my God, I have to end something. And so I guess I'm a horny lady. It makes some noise if someone in this room is just like a horny person, right? Like a little bit too, oops. I have to do something fast. I had a whole joke about family trauma and that I hate my stepdad. We can't do it because Sammy's lighting me. So I just gotta tell you about a weird thing I saw while blowing a dude one time. And you're like, what's the weirdest thing you saw while blowing a dude? One time, I pulled down a guy's pants and his balls were so messed up that I 100% thought his balls had been in an accident. And I was so certain that his balls had been in an accident that upon seeing the balls, I said, dude, have your balls been in an accident? No. And you're saying no because you understand the male ego is so fragile and that you probably shouldn't say that upon seeing someone's balls the first time. I am a caring person. I understand that I also shouldn't say that too. But you don't understand that what the fuck happened to your balls was the first half of a compliment I was trying to give him. Because in my mind, I was going to be sexy being like, wow, what the fuck happened to your balls? They look so good for how bad of an accident they must have been in. The answer was his balls had not been in an accident. So that's my set. That's my time. I'm Victoria Banner. I run a show at the Attic in Inglewood every Sunday with my co-host Carla Marks. So I guess come find us. Come find me, and we'll just giggle about weird stuff in town. So thank you. Woo!